Everyone can agree that mathematics can be very difficult, and it's almost everyone's least favorite subject. But to actually realize that there are some mathematical problems that are unsolvable or have never been solved, now that is a surprise. These mathematical problems are called Millennium problems, and only one has been solved since the beginning of time. One of the greatest minds that the universe blessed us with in this century is Grigori Perelman, who is the only human who has solved one of the Millennium problems, taking the mathematical world by storm. Now the mystery shrouds Grigori Perelman. What do we know? How did he solve it? Where is Grigori Perelman? You would think that for a man who solved a popular equation, he would be easy to find, and so should be all over the news. But it's actually quite the opposite. It seems Grigori Perelman vanished into thin air. So who is Grigori Perelman? Why did he disappear? Well, join us as we answer these questions. Grigori Yakovich Perelman was born the 13th of June, 1966. He's a Russian mathematician and geometer. Perelman was born in Leningrad, Soviet Union, now St. Petersburg. It's not a surprise that someone who is such a mathematical genius inherited his intelligence from somewhere. Perelman's mother, Lubov, was doing her graduate work in mathematics when she had Perelman, but she had to stop to take care of him. At the age of 10, Perelman had already showed that he was destined for great things in the mathematical world, so his mother had no choice but to enroll him in the Sergei Ruskin after-school mathematics program. In 1982, at the young age of 16, he went on to win a gold medal as a member of the Soviet team at the International Mathematical Olympiad hosted in Budapest. What made it even more outstanding was that he won a perfect score. At the age of 24, Grigori had already completed his PhD and obtained research positions at several universities in the United States. And in 1991, he was presented with the Young Mathematician Prize of the St. Petersburg Mathematical Society for his work on the Alexandrov spaces of curvature bound from below. In 1994, he was offered several other roles at universities in the United States, but he declined all and went back home to Russia and took up a research-only position at the Stiklov Institute in St. Petersburg. So, what was the unsolvable problem that Perelman solved? Back in the early 2000s, all the world's leading mathematicians gathered in Paris to highlight 7 of the most important and unsolvable mathematical problems. The meeting was organized by the nonprofit Clay Institute and pledged $1 million for the first person that would solve any of the Millennium problems. Out of the 7 unsolvable problems, 1 has been solved, and that is the Poincare Conjecture. In 1904, French mathematician Henri Poincare posed this problem about the nature of space. If you have a 3-dimensional space with no holes, it can be made into a sphere without ripping or cutting it. Poincare believed that his conjecture could not prove it. His conjecture frustrated mathematicians for over a century until 2002, when a mysterious paper surfaced on the internet, and this paper contained the solutions to the Poincare Conjecture, and the author was Grigori Perelman. But the shocking and surprising thing was Grigori Perelman actually proved another conjecture, which indirectly proved the Poincare Conjecture. So one could say he proved the conjecture by mistake. An American mathematician, Hamilton, tried to give the Poincare Conjecture a go, but he also could not prove it. But he was able to develop the blueprint that enabled Perelman to crack the 100-year mathematical problem. Perelman relied on Hamilton's blueprint, called the Ricci flow. He was able to prove Thurston's theory, and in doing so, he also proved the Poincare Conjecture. But rather than submit his research to a scientific journal or an academic institution, he did the most surprising thing and posted his preprints on the internet at arxiv.org. It seems like Perelman was reluctant to allow anyone else to review the paper because he was sure of his work. After all, he had been working on them for 10 years. However, one thing that was noticeable was that some technical details were absent from his proof. It did not contain any digressions or explanations. Perelman came out of retirement and gave conferences in the United States to explain his proof, but after that, he went back into retirement and avoided the media. But now, the million question dollar is, who gets the $1 million promised by the Clay Institute? Mathematicians all over the world spent 3 years scrutinizing the proof to see if he had really solved the problem. By 2006, it became clear that he really solved the Poincare Conjecture. A committee of 9 mathematicians voted to award Perelman a Fields Medal for his work on the Ricci flow, but in a shocking turn of events, he rejected it. But Sir John Ball, president of the International Mathematical Union, took it upon himself and approached Perelman in his home in St. Petersburg to persuade him to accept the award. But Ball clearly had his work cut out for him, because after 10 hours of persuasion for 2 days, Ball accepted defeat because Perelman still refused to accept the reward. Perelman eventually described the conversation between them when he said,
"If the proof is correct, then no other recognition is needed."
But nevertheless, on the 22nd of August 2006, at the International Congress of Mathematicians in Madrid, Perelman was awarded the Field Medal in his absentia, as he did not attend the ceremony, and the presenter informed the Congress that Perelman had declined the award.
I regret that Dr. Perelman has declined to accept the medal.
Which actually made him the first person to decline the award. It was at that point the world realized that Perelman was a very reclusive person. There were barely pictures of him online, and for someone of his status, the internet should be filled with not just pictures, but even multiple videos, giving interviews and all the such, but not is the case for Grigori Perelman. This is one of the recent pictures of Grigori that was taken in St. Petersburg, his hometown, and it's clear from the expression on Grigori's face that he's not too happy with the picture being taken. This just proves how much he does not like the media attention. On one of the rare occasions when reporters were able to reach him by phone, he bluntly told the reporter,
"You are disturbing me. I am picking mushrooms."
Furthermore, Sir John Ball, who had gone to see Perelman previously, attributed his reclusive behavior to his experience in the mathematical community during his career. Ball went on to tell BBC that,
"However, I am unable to disclose these comments in public. He has a different psychological makeup, which makes him see life differently."
Back in 2006, Perelman had quit mathematics and resigned from his position at the Steklov Institute. In an interview with The New Yorker, he said he was particularly disappointed by the unethical conduct in the mathematical community, particularly the role of Xing-Tung Yao, who tried to downplay Perelman's role in the proof. On March 8, 2010, Perelman was awarded the Millennium Prize for solving the Poincare Conjecture. But I'm sure no one was surprised that on June 8, 2010, he was absent at the ceremony in his honor at the Institut Oceanographique de Paris to accept his $1 million. He refused to accept the Millennium Prize money on July 2010 because he felt the decision of the Clay Institute was unfair for not allowing him to share the prize money with Richard Hamilton, and it seems like a reasonable concern, because after all, the Hamilton-Ricci conjecture was the blueprint that he used to solve the Poincare conjecture.
To put it short, the main reason is my disagreement with the organized mathematical community. I don't like their decisions. I consider them unjust.
In addition to not liking their decision, it seemed Perelman was generally not motivated by money and did not seem to have solved the Millennium problem for the money. It seems also like Perelman had a personal issue with the mathematics community because one constant thing in his comment has always been that them being unfair or unjust, and that might have been a reason why he decided to remove himself completely from the mathematics community.
And didn't treat him with proper respect because he was not considered one of them.
Yes.
The next big question is, What then happened to the $1 million prize? Well, the Clay Institute subsequently used Grigori Perelman's prize money to fund the Poincare chair, which is a temporary position for young, promising mathematicians at the Paris Institut Henri Poincare. So where exactly is Grigori Perelman today, and what does he do? In 2014, it was recorded that Perelman was working in the field of nanotechnology in Sweden, but shortly after, he was photographed in his hometown in Russia with his mother. Grigori Perelman's story isn't just about solving a century-old problem. It's about the courage to stay true to one's principle, even when fame and fortune are at stake. Would you make the same choice if you were in his shoes? If you enjoyed this story and want to see more about remarkable individuals who defy expectations, don't forget to subscribe. Let's talk about it in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts.